Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Cuccio Wanderlust collection for winter 2018. These are available right now at HB Beauty Bar. I'll link their storefront down below. A big huge thank you to both HB Beauty Bar as well as Cuccio for sending these polishes my way, and I'll go ahead and get right into the swatch and review. So first up is a transformation, and this polish is described as a subtle nude pink shimmer. So this is such a gorgeous nude shade, especially if you have pink undertones in your skin like I do. I'm really fond of this polish. It is described as having a subtle pink shimmer. It is super subtle on the nail. It mostly comes across as a cream with maybe a little bit of a lit from it within type feel. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to swatch today for me on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one does go on a little bit corelli-like, so it has that kind of milky clean vibe to it. This first coat did go on nice and smooth, a little bit streaky, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a second coat. So here's a quick look at that second coat. Two coats. It does go on beautifully opaque. I had no issues at all. These also do dry down really glossy. At the end of the swatch video, I'm going to share with you the Cuccio top coat. I've really found good use with that. I did bring this on my recent vacation and I had absolutely no tip wear within a week. So here's a look at that complete and mani at two coats without a glossy top coat underneath my new artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. So next up from the Wanderlust collection is I Wonder Here. And this polish is described as a platinum pale violet. So super light. Has a little bit of gray in there, but a very gorgeous touch of purple tones to get you through those winter blues. I'll go ahead and show you how that swatched today for me on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, a little bit of a curly-like formula. It is going to dry down glossy and it is going to apply perfectly for me in two easy coats. I had no issues with a flooding or pooling, even if I went in a little bit thicker here like this first coat. It does make for a very clean, kind of a milky type feel with a little bit of streaking. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with that second and final coat for today. So again, two coats just goes on and even everything out. Makes for a gorgeous opaque finish with a high gloss sheen. So here is a look at that completed mani at just two coats before a glossy top coat underneath my new artificial lighting. I'm really in love with this one too. It's just a really clean, filling color. I feel like I could wear it anywhere. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up is a True North, and this is going more towards the taupe tones with a little bit of brown in there. So super beautiful. Again, a really nice nude shade. This is really going to complement, I think, a wide variety of skin tones. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that applied for me today on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, almost like a curly-like formula. It does go on nice and smooth, fairly evenly with just a little bit of that milky clean sheerness. I am going to go ahead and complete this with a second coat for today. Two coats is like magic. It just goes on, smooths everything right out, evens out any streaking, and brings this polish completely opaque. They're as glossy as it looks on the nail. Wet is how it dries down dry as well. Super glossy. Really impressed with that finish. So here's a look at that completed mani at just two coats. So it's a little bit brighter here than it is in person. I'm still kind of having some growing pains with my lighting situation. So this is a little bit more true to tone. And this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath my artificial lighting. So next up is Wind in My Hair, and this polish is described as an ice blue cream. So super light. I'm picking up some gray tones in there as well. A really gorgeous polish, again, just to get us all the way through the winter, and honestly year-round. I think this is going to be great for office wear as well. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, this one does go on without any pooling or issues. Just a little bit sheer here with this first coat. It does lay down a nice base. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a second coat. With this polish, I did feel like it's maybe a little bit thinner than the others, so this second coat gets really close to full opacity. I did have a little bit of streaking left, so I'm going to go ahead and let this dry down and then complete this one with a third and a final coat. You can see they're really close, just toward the tip. I did have a little bit of streaking. This third coat is going to go right on and even everything right out and make for complete opacity and that same gorgeous glossy finish with no issues. So I'm going to go ahead, complete this coat, let it dry down, and then give you a look at that completed mani. So here that is. Add three coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. I feel like this is pretty true to color here. This one is very bright and light, just refreshing to look at. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up is a surprise favorite for me, and I'm going to say that this is probably my top pick from this collection. So this is Chur, and this is described as a wool gray cream. If you see there in the bottle, this finish is super, super unique, really cool. It looks like a cement on the nails in the best way possible. I know that kind of sounds weird, but it is a really cool and graphic effect on the nail. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to apply it for me today on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, it went on nice and smooth, no issues really, just a little bit sheer. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with that second coat. I did go in for a little bit of a thicker second coat here, but it did bring this polish completely opaque. This is one of those that's going to be right on the edge. If you go super thin, you may need to go in for that third coat, but this finish, totally worth it. I'm really digging this even as we get into the spring and kind of festive Easter months. I think this is going to be really cool for nail art. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath artificial lighting. So next up is one of the glitters of the Wanderlust collection. This is Blissed Out, and it is described as a delicious shimmering gold glitter topper. I am going to show you today how it's swatched all on its own, but I do want to go ahead and preface this by saying I do appreciate this polish more as a topper, but it does make for a really clean and fun vibe on the nail all on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. This first coat just gives you an inkling of how that looks, just a small smattering of really strong gold shimmer on the nail. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it built up for me with the second coat. That second coat, I really got more of the larger glitters. I did not have to fish for them at all. They did come out all on their own. I think that first swipe was just a little bit luck of the draw, but every swipe after that, including on my other nails, I got a lot of those larger sharded glitters. I do think the larger ones pull a little bit more silver tone for me, which I'm loving in this mix. So here's a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. See, that's like fun and bright. Again, I do think this is going to be beautiful over any color you want to put under it as well. And those larger glitters do make for some texture, so I do recommend going in with the Cuccio top coat. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that artificial lighting. So next up we have Dreamville, and this polish is described as a festive rose gold chrome glitter. So you can see in the bottle there are some holographic bar glitters, which I'm really excited to see in this mix. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a really nice bar glitter polish. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that looks on my natural nail. This first coat does go on nice and easy. Not a ton of those bar glitters spread throughout, but they do pop up every now and then, which I think keeps this a little bit more on the classy side. So I am going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a second coat. 2 coats, it does bring this polish completely opaque. That rose gold shimmer in there goes a long way in providing opacity. Those bar glitters do make a small amount of texture, not massive. I am going to go ahead and show you how the Cuccio top coat smooths that out as well. But here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before the glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo, so you can see how those kind of look underneath artificial lighting. In direct sunlight, they are going to catch more of the light. So next up, I have a road less traveled, and this is another top pick for me. So this one is described as a violet gunmetal chrome. This polish is insanely gorgeous on the nail. Super in love with it. I'm not even a big purple person or even metallic, but this one just spoke right to my heart. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that's swatched today for me on my natural nail. You can see that first coat, really nice coverage here. It is a little bit sheer, but I didn't have any streaking or pulling issues at all. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. 2 coats for sure does bring this polish completely opaque. I did go in a little bit thicker here. You don't necessarily have to do that at all. You do have to be maybe a little bit mindful of the strokes, but this did a good job of mellowing out all on its own. So here's a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. Super, super shifty on the nail. Just absolutely in love. I don't have anything negative to say about this polish at all. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that artificial lighting. So next on, I'll give you a quick look at the Cuccio 7-second reactive top coat. This is a fast dry top coat. I did time it. I don't think it's necessarily 7 seconds, but it is fairly quick and it does dry down to a nice, hard, glossy finish. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that swatched today for me over that bar glitter polish. It does a great job at smoothing it out in just 1 coat. The brush was easy to use, the formula is nice, and it's not super, super high odor. Very nice, quick dry option. Also today, Cuccio sent me their cuticle oil. I am always happy to have cuticle oil on hand. It is one of my #1 tips to growing nice, strong, long, healthy nails. This one does have the dropper tip applicator, which I love. The smell is really nice as well. It's not overpowering and it's not perfumey at all, just nice and light. For application, I did do a nice little drop toward each of my cuticles. I do like to also massage this into my nail bed and let that sit and absorb in. I think it really goes a long way in helping my nails be healthy, especially through these winter months. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Cuccio Wanderlust collection. These are all available right now on HB Beauty Bar. Again, I'll have that linked down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know down below. Also, if you'd like, you can follow me to see more on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.